there are some fans who have, who have their own logics, because they don't want a repeat of, what happened during Hoolier, what happened during Rafa. They were not given enough push. What did we reached at a particular level, but we were not able to continue. So what they do not ask FSG to, invest like, say, Madrid or PSG or City or even United. But what they're asking is, just to continually invest in the squad. Yes, Liverpool are generating revenue at the moment, but have faith in this team. And if you're not taking out money, but at least invest some, because at the end of the day, given Nike coming in, the TV revenue increasing, PL every single season. So you will at the end of the day will be the one who will reap the benefits of it. So what they want is to FSG to invest something, so that at least we have the squad in rotation, we have the squad depth, we have the energy maintained in the squad. Because like, you do understand that there was a point in last season when Matip and Gomez, they both were injured, and we literally had no other central defender who was to come up along with Van Dijk. So we were literally going with our fourth choice centre back. We still do not have any replacement for Andrew Robertson. Some people still do say that ever since Coutinho has left, we still lack that creativity in the midfield. Although Naby Keita has been showing really, really positive signs, we still need a quality backup for our front three. So there are certain positions where we would want to invest, if not altogether in a single season, but maybe like you get maybe a couple of signings here and there, at least get the left back, because they're afraid of injuries. If the front three, Andrew Robertson, Van Dijk, Alisson, even Jordan Henderson for that matter, when he got injured, we literally started losing games. And there's something which was clearly missing in the team. Even when Van Dijk was, chosen as the captain instead of Jordan Henderson, we let in so many goals. That was a crazy riot that we literally had when he was out. So we do need investment. So what's your take on that?
Agreed, we need investment. But let me come to this point. Last season, did we sign any players? Apart from Minamino, that's
Minamino in January. Total was, I think, 7 million.
Minamino we signed in January. We signed Minamino in January. We had not signed any player till that moment. And Minamino actually had absolutely no hand in the title race. Because we were so far ahead. We were more than 22 points ahead by that time. So I don't buy the fact. See, who doesn't want top players? I want top players at the club. I want Mbappe, I want Werner, I want all the top players at the club. But are we practical here? Klopp is not foolish, right? He's not stupid. He's won trophies. He's the manager of the club. I'm sure they must be discussing these things day in, day out, week in, week out for months and months and months. They must be having a strategy in place that what is the sort of investment we need? What are the type of players available in the market? Will he suit the club's profile? Because you cannot expect to bring in a top player in the club and break the wage structure, and then if things don't work out, things go haywire. The club is not built like that. We've always built from low to high, not from the other way around, right? Now, of course, see, in 2018, I think when we lost the final, of course, when Coutinho left, we did invest that money. But after losing to Madrid and Kiev, we signed Fabinho, we signed Ox, we signed Keita the same year, right? And they were big money signings. There were almost 100 million worth signing.
But that was a part of the typical, sell to buy strategy which FSG has. So you need to sell a player.
Alisson and Van Dijk came from the Coutinho money, or if you want to look at Keita and Van Dijk came from the Coutinho money. Maybe we after we lost to Madrid and Kiev, we went and bought Alisson. So Alisson wasn't there in the squad that time, right? So it's not like FSG will not spend that sort of money, but if they feel there's a player available in that bracket worth spending, we will spend that money. But we've signed Keita, we signed Ox, we signed Minamino. Okay, we have Shaqiri, we have Origi. These teams, these players have won us the European Cup, they've won us the Club World Cup, they won us the Premier League. I don't see where the discussion comes by as to why FSG is not spending money. If a player is available and if Klopp wants a player, if he feels there's a worth bidding for the player, he will get that player. If people want to give the argument over why didn't we sign Werner, why we are not signing Thiago, people don't get into the basics of it. Werner wasn't just a straightforward transfer, and we were pretty vocal from the start that we may not have the funds to buy Werner. I agree. I also would have loved Werner on the bench, but look at it from a practical point of view. You're signing a player who's worth 60 million or 55 million, plus 12 million is going to be the agent fees. He's going to be on 200K a week for 5 years. The overall fee is going above 100
Even
million.
even Sadio Mane versus Van Dijk, who have been Ballon d'Or runners up for 2 regular seasons, even they don't earn that much in Liverpool.
Exactly my point. So why break the wage structure and why get in a player who's not going to start over Firmino? Whether Firmino scores goals or not, he's the system. He is the player who makes the system tick. Exactly how Henderson is for us. So he is a vital player. I don't see him starting over Firmino unless Klopp feels that now is the time Werner is the player to come in and start playing more regularly. Why would Germany's top striker want to be on the bench, right? I don't see why we had to spend that sort of money. I actually don't think we're going to sign Thiago either because he doesn't fit the policy anyway. Because
Mm.
now, from now onwards, when players turn 29 and 30, will be the time when we actually start looking at why don't we just sell them, get a decent amount of money, and sign a backup or sign a replacement. That is bound to happen with the front three as well at some stage because they're hitting 30, almost close to 30, 29, 28, or 30. So once that happens, your value decreases once you hit 30. So we could consider selling one of them in the future, maybe in the next year, because we have the African Cup of Nations. We are going to lose 2 or 3 important players: Mane, Salah, Keita, possibly maybe Matip if he chooses to play. So maybe next season we look at realistic options. We look at Sancho realistically. We might even consider looking at Mbappe, depending on where we finish in the season. I will not deny we may not look at Mbappe. We could be in the mix, but I don't see us signing him because with Nike coming in, we could have a big signing happening as a marquee signing because that will definitely boost our shirt sale. But I don't see Mbappe happening. Maybe Sancho is still realistic if that happens, but Mbappe is out of question.
That
But what
that's
I mean to say is FSG will spend where it is needed because eventually, since the time Klopp came into the club, he has been pretty vocal that eventually it is my call whether I want to sign a player or not. If I tell the owners I want a player, they will do it for him. They will not say no to him. They will discuss the possibility of the finances, whether it's sustainable or not. If he feels it's not worth it, he will not sign them. If he wants them, Klopp will definitely get the player he wants.
I think that's a part of Klopp's personality as well. That he's so he's so up close with the owners, unlike many other managers in so many other clubs. Coming to the previous point, when people talk about FSG is not the right owners for us, okay, let's hypothetically say that what, okay, fine, FSG do not invest in this club, and let us kick FSG out or whatever. Who do they think can come instead of FSG, invest money, and be at the same level of understanding as Michael Edwards and Klopp? Can they guarantee that the club will have the
I
same
don't
level
know.
of understanding and they'll have the same level of communication? Because no other club seems to have that at the moment.
They don't. And honestly, I'll tell you this uh, vibe comes out of the fact is people are obsessed with owners of Man City and Chelsea. The jealousy comes from there. It is pure jealousy because those clubs are absolutely no one and overnight they start winning trophies because of the investment in the squad. We cannot afford those sort of players. So I see where that sense of uh, anger or hatred comes from, but I don't think it's justified. I can understand if you're not winning trophies. I even read comments saying that Klopp is making FSG looking like good owners. It could still be a possibility that I will still take that as a case. But I think that FSG, now that we are winning trophies, I don't think they should be given a hurl of abuses because I can understand if you're not winning trophies, if you're not at all buying anyone, if you're not investing in the squad, either commercially or for footballing reasons, then our fans have every right to crib about it. But if people are
Right.
continuously going to crib, you cannot make everyone happy. You have to focus on the game, focus on the positives, try and achieve the best possible things you can for the club on and off the pitch. You cannot make everyone happy.
Of course, and like we discussed earlier, I mean, where we're coming from to where we are today. FSG has a huge role. Whether it's not about just how much money they have invested. It's all about the way they have carried the club forward. I mean, I remember searching for a Warrior, so I didn't even know where would I find a Warrior jersey for Liverpool. It was so hard for me to find. A jersey for myself. Then came in New Balance. Then we are at Nike. I mean, if you if you talk about our front three back then from SAS to where we went down, and then right now where our front three is, where our midfield is, where our defense is, where our sponsors are, where the club is, where the club's valuation is, where our trophy count is. I mean, it has been an upgrade. There is not a single department where we have gone down. And having that, and I think the best signing FSG could have made is Jurgen Klopp. I do not, I was surprised that, we had that pull that we could sign Jurgen Klopp, a manager like Jurgen Klopp. I just didn't see that because Brendan's last season and the season prior to that when, he sold Suarez, we were barely winning games. We rarely had, 1-0 or 1-1. I still remember that. I think it was Europa League against Newcastle, I guess. And we barely won the game 1-0. And I was just praying, oh, Jordan Ibe, please sign a contract extension. I was literally asking Jordan Ibe to sign a contract extension, the man who's not even there in a Bournemouth starting lineup at the moment. So, that's the level in the last few years. I'm last 5 years, which we have come. So I think it's a huge achievement for us as uh, Liverpool supporters and Liverpool club in itself. Do you still feel that, this current team can go and, be competitive next year or win a UCL or a Premier League? This current team without an incoming transfers, by the way.
If you take my opinion, and this is entirely my opinion, I think a top four is still a realistic option. I don't see us winning silverware next season. And don't feel offended. I'm a Liverpool fan, a passionate one, but I prefer to be a realist than think, oh, we need to do the treble. Of course, I would love to do the treble. I would love us to win all the trophies out there. But let's be honest. The manner in which other teams are spending, City has spent, United are planning to spend, Chelsea have already spent. Even if we somehow manage to get into the top four, get that UCL spot, retain our main players, possibly add to the squad, then maybe we can realistically think of pushing for more trophies ahead. Going far in the UCL and finishing in the top four for me are the two priorities right now. Anything else is a bonus. I'm not expecting us to win silverware next season.
So I think so. According to you, then we'll go the same route. Will obviously I think Carabao Cup is not happening anymore this season. We'll be ignoring FA Cup again, I guess. Then I mean we'll still be just focusing on UCL and Premier League, given our squad depth.
See, it depends where we are. If we feel that the UCL we have done well in the UCL under Klopp, this season was an exception, unfortunately. But we generally tend to do well in the Champions League whenever we are in the competition. Try and go as far as possible. It, for all the incentive is there to win it again in Istanbul. If that happens, it's a miracle. And for me, the main thing is the top four finish, getting UCL football, keeping your main players at the club. When was the last time we actually were able to hold on to our players in the last two windows, in the last two seasons? We have managed to do that in the last 2 years. Before that, we either lost Coutinho, we lost Sterling, we lost Torres, we lost Mascherano, we lost Alonso. Every window we have kept losing important players. So we took one step forward, two steps back. Now it's not happening. So a big credit and big thank you goes to Klopp, FSG, and Edwards for it. For me, a top four finish is vital. Get the UCL football. If we somehow manage to win a trophy, that'd be a bonus for me.
See, to be honest, I still think that we will either win the Premier League or will be in the first two. I think it's just the belief that I have in this team currently. Secondly, I do understand that there are no incoming transfers at the moment, but most importantly, there are not any outgoing transfers as well. And secondly, we just spoke about how FSG is, not taking money from the team and reinvesting in the team itself. Um, See, there have been players who have taken pay cuts. There have been staff who have been asked to furlough. Uh, you know, I mean,
But that's
we've
a
spoken about
minuscule thing.
that.
That's a minuscule thing when you compare the larger picture. That's a very micro thing, not a
Yes,
macro thing. It really
but
doesn't affect much.
FSG, but it was still, I mean, the thought was given to that. I mean, it's somewhere down the line, it's somewhere important because there was still,
Isn't
people
it
think,
happening in our country? Isn't it happening in our country? So why blame FSG and all? So see, they are
that
businessmen at the end.
no,
If they feel that a decision has to be taken, it has to be taken.
yeah, that is,
Unfortunately,
it's not blaming FSG. The whole point of mine at the moment is that you know given even the players taking salary cuts and everything, and still not asking to go out of the club says a lot. And even though we don't have any transfers, and obviously it's because of Klopp said, right, you cannot sign a 50 million player and ask the rest of your 15-20 players to take a pay cut. I mean, that's just insane. That just you just cannot do that. However, we have sold Lovren. Lalana has gone on a free transfer. He was around, I think, 130 a week, I guess, 130 or 150 a week.
so we
So
paid up almost 300K a week worth of wages, and we've got in about 11 million from
exactly.
Lovren
So,
sale.
so that kind of makes a
So
lot of space in for maybe
yeah,
someone who's a free agent, or at least someone who can come like Lewis from relegated teams. So we have Bournemouth, we have Norwich, we have a couple of left backs there whom we can literally scoop out of those teams, because after Eddie Howe has left Bournemouth, it's again a boost for us. It's a very unfortunate, that has happened, because we all love Eddie Howe, to be very honest, as a person and as a manager. But considering, just being very selfish here and talking about just Liverpool, I think there's gonna be a dismantle of the squad happening at the moment, and we can still scoop up another left back, a backup who has Premier League experience as well. So that's one thing. So I still have high hopes. I still feel that Liverpool will sign one left back, if not a centre back, because I do still feel that Klopp may use Fabinho as centre back in maybe a couple of games whenever needed. I do feel he'll sign a left back and a midfielder, because we have seen that the squad kind of goes into hibernate whenever Jordan Henderson is not playing. The midfield kind of just is left out. So I have high hopes, to be honest. I still feel we'll finish in top two, and UCL, I'm pretty sure, will make it at least to the semi-finals.
personally, I would want to win the UCL. Personally,
Again,
if you ask me, because there's an affiliation with that trophy for me. Of course, I want us to win all the possible trophies, especially the Premier League and the Champions League are the two biggest trophies. I want to win every year, but it's easier said than done. It's easy for us to hear and talk about it. I can only wish my team the very best, that they actually go and win all these trophies. But let's say it's going to be difficult to even think of them matching what we have done in the last two seasons, finishing 97 points, 99 points in two seasons. It's absolutely unbelievable. I mean, even if we get to 80, 85 points, it's going to be a big achievement, because these 2 years of football takes a big sting out of you, out of the players. The
that's
level of intensity, the traveling, of course, with the pandemic happening, everything changes. I mean, as long as we win, for me, nothing else matters. The type of football we play doesn't matter. Nothing matters, because all these years we have been playing good football and we actually achieved nothing. I would rather win trophies and not play good football. For me, result matters now. Nothing else matters.
right. Yeah, that's fair enough, and I think these set of players, this manager and this team, they deserve a reward for every single effort that they have been putting in, and keeping a hold on the squad and whatnot. So yeah, I think we had a really good discussion out of this, and
Yeah.
I sincerely hope that maybe if any case we need a couple of signings, we are able to do it. We are able to win more trophies in the coming season. We still have, so we had around 7 trophies on target this season, out of which we have won 3. We won this UCL last season. So it's still a good achievement because we haven't been doing that. We have been, we have been to finals, we haven't won them. But this winning mentality, I sincerely hope it continues. And we sincerely hope that, Salil, you'll join us in the next one-to-one as well. And we'll be coming up with different topics and we'll be discussing it the same.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. I look forward to many more